So now we'll discuss the conversion of continuous AWGN channel into a vector channel. So basically, normally the channel we have, it is your continuous AWGN channel. Now how we can represent that a normal continuous AWGN channel into a vector channel? So that means we will represent the term AWGN terms in the vector forms. Okay, so basically we know from this in the last class we have seen that if the receive signal is ST, this is your signal, this is your noise. Okay, so this is your receive signal. Normally we represent by this. So now, what is the criteria for the Gaussian noise process? So in the Gaussian noise process, we know that signal has a zero bin and the power spectrum density equal to n naught by 2. Okay, this is the condition for your white Gaussian noise. Two thing is there. Okay, so now if we want to represent the output correlator J, so that means the XIT is there. Now we want to represent in correlator form. Okay, so that means like your S was the input signal is there, so we have represent Sij. Okay, for SI. For SIT, we take the value Sij. Similarly, for the ST, we are taking the correlator value, and that is for XT, the correlator value, your SI or sorry, SJT. Okay, so this is the correlator value we are considering. So now and definitely the sample value, and this is a sample value of a random variable xj. So that means whatever the correlator j we have considering, it is coming or it have a value. This is from the random variable xj. Okay. So now the Sj, it can represent Sj is equal to integration of 0 to t St into theta j t dt. Okay. So now if we put the xt value over there, so what we will get? We will get Sij plus Wj. So first component is the definitely the deterministic component because it is already determined by the transmitter. So that means we can determine what is the value of Sij. Okay, like this value. Now the second one, the Wj, which is not determined, means we cannot determine that value because there is a randomness is there. So that means there is a some statistical process or there. Okay, so now we know this expression already we know and we use this expression for Sij. This expression already we know. So and what is the expression of the Jw then? So Jw will be your integration of 0 to t Wt phi j t dt. So this is the Jw, Wj, sorry. Okay. So now if we consider a new, like the previous, when we discuss about the Gram-Schmidt procedure, we have considered a intermediate function gt. So now here also what we are doing, we are considering a sample function, not the intermediate function, it's called the sample function. And the for a new stochastics process, new stochastic process xit. So we have considered a random variable xj. Now we are considering a new stochastic process or variable which is x cap or x prime. Okay, so x prime t we have considered, and the sample function is like you see the previously what we consider the correlation function or sample function xj, which is a sample value of capital Xj. Okay, similarly, for when we're discussing the stochastic process x prime t, we are considering a sample function. This is a one sample value of this. We consider the small. Okay, so the calculate what is the receive signal. So the receive signal will be receive signal is the means the receive signal at the receiver. So basically the x prime t, that's equal to xt minus of summation of j equal to 1 to n xj theta, oh sorry, phi j t. Okay, this is the function, the sample function over there. Okay, at the receiver. So now if we put the value of xt, so what we'll get over there, from the previously we have defined the xt equal to sit plus wt, and also we have defined the xj. So what we are doing, we are replacing these two terms over there. Okay, so now if we replace that, xt will be the xit plus wt summation of, and that xj, already we have seen the xj equal to this term is ij plus wj. So we are replacing that value over there. So we have that equation. Is there any doubt how we are getting this equation from there?
Sir, one second.
You see that what we are considering, the like the previous case, in this case also we are considering a intermediate or new stochastic process. Okay, in the new stochastic process which is similar to your random variables, the xj. Okay, so now the for the new stochastic process xt, and there is a, so in the xt there are many samples is there. The sample is represented by the x prime t. Okay, so is, and this, the sample function is related to your receive signal xt, and how they are related, by this expression. The sample function for the new stochastic process is related with the receive signal st, and how they are using this formula. Now already we know what is the value of xt. So xt equal to, previously we have seen the sit plus wt. This is the noise. So we are replacing the st value over there, and we already calculate sj value. So what is the sj value we calculate? We calculate the sj value is this. Okay, just we replace the xt and xj by their corresponding value. Okay, so now if we put the corresponding value, we will get that expression. Okay, so now
So that how that x dash t is, I mean, that sample function is related to xt. I mean, how this equation came. So,
so you see that normally the thing is that this is the, suppose when we are estimating some value, there is a randomness is there. So now the, when is the sample function, when we considering some, say some sample function of x prime t, this you are talking about these terms, is it? how it is related to your received signal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose we have some received signal, some amount. Now we want to actually like the prediction. Okay. So if we want to do the prediction, so how do we do that? We try to get the nearest value of the actual value, because there is a in the xt there is a randomness is there, so we cannot predict or we cannot determine the exact value of st. Is it clear? Because if you see the expression of the st, there is a on term is there which is not deterministic, it is a random, the wt, which is a noise, wide Gaussian noise. Okay, so due to that we cannot have the deterministic value of st at the receiver. So now we what we are doing now, like your previous case, you see what we did, we just take a intermediate function over there to calculate the what is should be the basic function. Okay, we need to calculate the basic function because that basic function should be orthonormal, and there is some criteria for orthonormality, means for orthonormal. So that means we are generating this value, because how you will get the basic function? Suppose initially we consider a basic function, random basic function. For the next signals, we need to calculate from the previous basic signal, so that both the basic signals should be orthogonal. There should be a orthogonality. Okay, so similarly, what we are doing here, that one st value is there. Now suppose we need to calculate a new stochastic process, or a sample value of a stochastic process. Okay, so in that case we represent that value, and definitely there will be a little bit of error, because we cannot predict the exact value. If we are able to predict the exact value, then this term will not be there. Okay, so these two will be equal, but we cannot do that because there is a randomness is there, the noise is the random noise. So that means this term basically is giving us the some randomness, because the xj, it is a value, sample value of your random variables. Okay, and theta is the basic functions by phi. So that means some noise, we can say some error will be there. Okay, that's why we represent the term xit is equal to your xt minus this term. Is that clear now?
Second term is error, sir.
Definitely, because the randomness is there. Suppose any random, when you generate, suppose when you do some coding, when you generate a random value, okay, suppose x is there, and if you do not generate set the seed value, I don't know that you know or not. If you set the seed value, and if you not set the seed value, means the starting point, whenever you generate a random value, every time it will be the different. Okay, so basically that how much difference is there when there is a randomness in the system, basically. Okay, so you can say that this is the somehow error of randomness error. Okay, so now if we, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so now we replace these two value st and x of j, so we are getting this expression. So from there we are getting this expression. Is there any doubt how we are getting this expression?
No, sir.
Because the summation of j equal to 1 to n s I j theta j phi j t, it will be equivalent to your SIT. So SIT plus SIT and minus SIT, it will be cancelled. So the remaining term will be your WT minus of summation of WJ phi J T, which is equivalent to your WT. Means similar way we are considering what is the process. Suppose we replace the X by the W. So in this case we can write this WT. So that means whatever you see that this is the WT is the white Gaussian noise which is added with the signal. So that means the function, the sample function we have considered is totally depending on the random or channel noise. That is I told that we need to calculate some the value, sample value at the receiver. What should be the sample value? Okay, and that sample value is totally depending on the noise. Okay, so now the xt, so then from there what we can write xt equal to, from this expression, xt equal to summation of this plus this. So we have written this term and already we calculate xt that's equal to wt, so we replace that thing. Okay, is there any doubt? Okay, so no doubt. So that is the receive signal. So we represent the receive signal in this format. Okay. So now let the statistical characteristics of the correlation outputs. That means we need to see what is the characteristics of the correlation output. So normally when we calculate any random function, two things are used to characterize the random function. One is your mean, second one is your variance. Is that? So that means in this now we'll see what is the value of the variance as well as what is the value of the means of that sample signal or your random signal xt. Okay, so basically this is, suppose if we represent the mean of xj, xj is the random variable and xj is only depending on the sij. So we'll see this is how it is depending on only xij. Okay, so normally the mean of your sample or receive signal xj, that's equal to estimation of xj, and xj this equal to sij plus wj. From there we can write basically this is your, this term will give us the xij, and if we replace this we'll get the capital value. We can write this is xt and this is capital wt. Okay, so now we have written the replace the xj that's equal to sij plus wj. So estimation, this is a constant term, so that means the average also is the constant. So that's why we have written this term, and we know that estimation of your x plus y, that's equal to e of x plus e of y. Okay, individually that it will give us the estimation also. This is the property of your estimation. Okay, so now we can write this term will come here, the because the average will give there. Now the estimation of wj. So what is the estimation of the wj? Since the when we discuss about the channel, AWGN channel, so initially we have mentioned the property of AWGN channel is it has a zero mean. That means we can say this value will be equal to 0. This is the average or mean. Okay, so the mean value of the noise, it will be 0. So that means we put 0. That means the mean value of your xj, that's equal to your Sij. Is that clear? We need to calculate what is the mean value of the xj over here. I hope it is clear. Okay. So now we need to calculate the what should be the variance. So for the variance, normally we represent by the sigma square xj. This is the variance of your xj, and this is equal to variance of xj. So in the variance, normally how to calculate the variance? Estimation of xj minus Sij square. Okay. So this value from the previous expression we have seen already that xj, that's equal to Sij plus wj, we have already seen. Okay, so from there we can write xj. Okay, so normally when we calculate the value of variance xj, so how to calculate the value? With xj minus the corresponding value square, if you recall the variance formula. So that is because this is the formula for the variance. Okay, estimation of this term. So now using this formula we can replace the xj minus Sij, which is equal to your wj. So we are replacing that value. Okay, and what is the wj? Wj equal to these terms. Okay, so now we will calculate what is the value of wj square. Okay, so how to calculate? If we put this value over there, wj, so the variance can be written like this. Estimation of, there will be a square bracket. Okay, okay, so estimation of for one wj and 2 second wj. So we have taken two different subscription for that. Okay, one is say with respect to t and another is with respect to e. Okay, this derivation we are calculating with respect to u and with respect to uh, t. Okay, so now this term equal to, we can write two terms of wj and we are replacing the corresponding value. I hope there is no doubt. Okay, so now we can write these two terms. So estimation of integration 0 to t, again 0 to t, phi jt, phi ju, wt, wu, dt du. Rearrange. What we did here? We rearrange the all the terms. Now the thing is that already we know that summation or estimation and that summation integration, they are linear operator. Okay, because in the estimation we are doing the average summation basically, and we are taking the average. So that means we can say the estimation and integration as the linear operator. So that means we can exchange the operator. Okay, so what we are doing in the next line, we are exchanging the operator. So integration of 0 to t, integration of 0 to t, phi jt, phi ju, because this term is not your random value. It is constant value. Random value is there over there, W. So we put the estimation over there. Okay. So, and this term, so what is this? This term, what is the estimation of WT into WU? Anyone? So that is the autocorrelation function. We have seen earlier that autocorrelation function. So that means, and normally the autocorrelation is function is defined by the RW T comma U. Okay, this is the autocorrelation function. So that variance can be written like this. Dekho, I hope there is no doubt. Okay. Now the autocorrelation function of the noise process, that means it is a autocorrelation function W is there, that means in the it is generating the autocorrelation function inside the channel and due to the noise, and the noise is the stationary. So since the noise is the stationary, that RWT comma TU depend only the time difference. What is the time difference between these two? That means T minus TU. So since the power spectrum density of that noise equal to n by 2, we can express the RW T comma U by this term. Okay, that will give us the autocorrelation function for a signal which have a power spectrum density of n by 2 and which is stationary also. Okay, and this is the time difference is there. So basically it is showing the time difference. So delta function, what is the meaning of the delta T minus U? It is shifted delta function, shifting property. Yes or no? Yes.
What does stationary mean?
Stationary means, yes, say.
Yes. So what does it mean? Noise is a stationary.
Stationary system, when we discuss about the your information theory, we have seen there is a stationary system, memory-less system. Stationary means they are not dependent to each other, because whatever the noise or noise value is generating at the different point of time, they are not related. Randomness is there. So basically, they are, you can say, they are stationary, independent. Okay, it is a stationary process, and I think in more details, so we discussed already when we discussed about the information theory, stationary system, then your memoryless system, those things. Okay, so the whatever the noise or yes, yes,
Oh, okay, sir.
okay. So now this is the shifting property. Now if we put those value, the RWT comma U in this equation, what we will get? The sigma square xj, that's equal to n by 2 is coming outside of your integration because it is a constant term, power spectrum density. Integration, these two integration, xjt, sorry, phi jt, phi ju into delta t minus u dt du. Okay. Now, so what is the value of 0 to t phi j u delta t minus u du? What is that value? If we do integration, what we will get? The value we will get, that is a property of your delta function.
Phi j of t.
Phi j of t. So from there, what we will get? Phi j of t. So that means we can write from there, we can write this term. Phi j of t is there. So phi j of t is multiply and it will get square. So that means the variance that's equal to n by 2 integration of 0 to t phi j square t dt. Okay, and definitely phi j square is a unit energy, because these are the orthonormal set. If you recall the basic function, phi j is your orthonormal set. So when the two same thing is we are multiplying, so what we will get? We will get the value is your 1. Yes or no? Phi j t, it is a orthonormal function or orthogonal function. So now if we multiply with the phi j t into phi j t, so in that case we are multiplying a function with the same function, orthonormal function, then it gives us 1. If we multiply with the two different function, it gives 0. This is the property or orthonormal or orthogonality. So that means it will give us the unit energy. So that means we can write the variance that's equal to n naught by 2. Is that clear? देखो, it's clear na? Okay.
So that RWTU expression, can you explain?
Use this expression.
Yes.
You are talking. Okay. So you see that RWT is your autocorrelation function. Okay. And it is since the noise is your stationary. In case of the stationary system, normally the autocorrelation function is basically the time difference. Whatever the time difference is there, and since that it has a constant power spectrum density, so that means when we multiply a function with another function, and so what we get in the autocorrelation function, so we multiply the amplitude with the how correlated these two are, that how the time relation between these two function. Okay, so this is the autocorrelation of the same function with the two different time, t time and u time. Okay, t position and u position. So this is your spectrum. What is the amplitude of the signal and the time difference? So basically time difference, this delta p minus u, it is indicating the shifted function of your delta function, shifted delta function. So that means it will provide us the what is the difference between these two time slot or time position. Yes or no? Suppose one we have here t, another position is here u. So now if we want to represent that terms over there, so suppose this is your delta t. Okay, so now if we want to move this position over there, so what we can write? Delta t equal to t minus u. Yes or no? This function in terms of t, we can write it is a delta t minus u. Is that clear? So that is the shifting. We are taking the difference. That means we are shifting the signals. So that's why we are getting this. Okay? Is that clear?
Yeah.
if we have two variables that xj and xk which are mutually uncorrelated, so in that case, how should be the covariance for them? So that means two independent sources there, and how these two independent have the relation. And so basically in that case, we will calculate the covariance. So basically COV indicate the covariance of two independent variables, okay, xj and xk. So basically we can express this term in terms of your estimation theory using the your probability. We can write the E of xj minus mu of xj into xk minus of mu of xk. Mu of xk is your mean of xj function, and mu of sk is the mean of your sk function. So now if previously we have seen the mean of the independent variable is your xij. Last class we have seen that what is the value of this variance means you see that we calculate this value equal to xij. So that means we can replace that mu xij equal to xij and this one equal to xik. Okay, so now if we just see the expression for the W, what was the expression for the W? W is the, tell me, Xij. So we know that Xij, the receive signal Xij equal to Sij plus Wj. So Wj equal to noise. So we can write, we know that Xj that's equal to Sij plus Wj. We already know this because this is the your receive signal, this is your transmit signal, and this is the noise. So that means what is the value of x? Uh, what is the value of x? Uh, xj minus Sij. The value equal to Wj. Okay. Similarly, we'll get for this, we'll get the Wk. Okay. What is the expression we have seen when you calculate the value of Wj? So Wj basically we can write the estimation of this term Wj equal to integration of 0 to t Wt phi jt dt. So that is the expression of your Wj. We already calculate this thing. Okay. So we just replace that value over there. Okay, for both Wj and Wk. So now we know that estimation these terms. So already we discussed about that estimation theory and their linear function. So we can interchange the operation or operators. So integration of 0 to t, phi jt, phi ku. Now there is a two terms estimation. There will be estimation of Wt, Wu. So and this value is the autocorrelation function. So we have put the Rw t comma u, which is the autocorrelation function. Okay, dt du. Okay. Next, what is the value of Rw? Means the autocorrelation function of t and u. We have calculated previously the value equal to your n2 by n0 by 2 into delta t minus u. Already we proved that value. Okay, when we discuss about the autocorrelation function. So we are putting the same value over there. So what will be there? N naught by 2 integration of 0 to t, again integration of 0 to t, phi j t, phi k u, delta t minus u, which will come, this term basically, these two term basically is a, it's coming due to the autocorrelation between the t and u. Okay, dt du. So now what is the value of this function? Except this means phi k u delta t minus u du. What is this function? We can write this is equal to your phi of k u. Okay, yes or no? So again then it will be the n naught by 2 integration of 0 to t. So actually what we did, we take this value, basically if you phi k u delta t minus u du, that's equal to your phi k of, so we use that formula over there. Okay, so that means now what is the expression? This will be the expression after putting this value. So now since the basic function are your orthogonal, so what is the product of the two basic function if they are not same? These two are the two different basic function. So if they are not same, in that case what should be the value?
0.
0. So that means we are getting 0 over here, and the condition should be the j not equal to k, because if j equal to k, then it will become 1. Okay, so that means we calculate, we have seen what is the, if they are not correlated, what should be the covariance over there? If they are correlated basically, if they are correlated, in that case we have got the variance equal to n naught by 2. Okay, if they are not correlated, in that case uncorrelated. If they are uncorrelated, in that case covariance will be equal to 0. Okay, so now if we define a n vector with the variables this, suppose we are defining a vector over here. Okay, so in that case we have already taken the Gaussian variance with the mean value equal to your Sij, because we already proved it. So what is the mean value and what is the variance value for a Gaussian function? These two terms already discussed or already we proved. So since the elements of a vector X are statistically independent, we can write a function of the conditional probability density function for the vector. So that means since this is independent or statistically independent, and the mean and variance already we know, in that case we can write the what should be the condition probability density function for this vector. Okay, and when we can write this vector, when the two thing is given, one is your the signal Sijt is given and the corresponding symbols Mi is given. So these are the two conditions. When these two terms is given, in that case we can write this vector with the condition probability density function, and the condition probability density function, it will be written as the product of the condition probability density function of individual element. So there are many elements is there. We have seen there are m number of elements is there. So if we multiply the what is the condition probability for a single element, then we'll get the condition probability density function for the vector x. So that means we are writing the condition probability function for the vector x comma mi, that's equal to product of j equal to 1 to n. This is the individual probability density function for a single element. Okay, so this is the scalar value. So we'll get that expression. Okay. So I hope there is no doubt. Okay. So where what is the things is there? This is your vector quantity. This is your scalar quantity. Okay. And the x, the vector quantity x is called the observation vector. This vector is called the observation vector. Okay. And all of the value, this will be the elements of that vector. If we have a vector, then in a vector there will be element, and these indicate the elements of the vector x. Okay. So, and the channel we consider over here in this expression, the channel is the memoryless channel. So what is the meaning of the memoryless? So when we discuss about the entropy memoryless source, that time we discuss the what is the memoryless source. So what was that?
The current output doesn't depend on the previous output.
Previous output or future output. That means any value is not dependent is the previous in value or future value. So whatever the elements is there, current element, it is not dependent on the previous element or future elements. So that is the memoryless. So definitely in the channel, whatever the channel is there, it will not be dependent on the previous channel or the future channel. Okay. So that is the condition. So now, since we have considered the Gaussian distribution function xj, because we have seen that whatever the noise is there in the channel, that is the Gaussian. The pattern follow the Gaussian distribution. So that means x will be your Gaussian variable, and the xj, it is a Gaussian random variable. So with the mean of xj and variance already we discussed xj and s naught. So we can write that terms means the condition probability means single terms of this one element. So what is the condition probability for a single element? Like say, for examples, m equal to 1, m equal to 2. What should be the condition probability? So we are calculating the condition probability from here using these terms. Okay, and this is, you can find that expression condition probability function on the Gaussian distribution. So which I did not discuss over here, but if the time permits at the end, so what I'll do, I will discuss little bit of the probability theory. Okay, like the what is the basic all the probability theory over there. So basically, distribution, different type of distribution, how it is coming. Okay, so at the end I will discuss if the time permits over there. Okay, so basically we'll get that condition single element condition probability for a single element we'll get, and that expression will be this. Okay, so what is there? The fj, sorry, fxj within bracket xj plus mi, that's equal to 1 by under square root square of pi n naught exponential of minus 1 by n naught xj minus s ij square. Okay, so this is the terms we are getting from the Gaussian probability over there. So you have in this function you have to remember that expression. I will try to how we are getting that expression to solve later, not right now. So now if we put that value over there, so what we will get? So now if we put this value over there, what is the output of this? So you see this term, so will be multiplied. Yes or no? So n number of this term is there and n number of the exponential term is there. So now if we exponential term is multiplied, then it will become a summation. Yes or no? So say exponential of I into exponential of j. What is this two term? We can write this is equal to exponential of I plus j. So that means the power will be at summing. So that means we can write this term in that exponential term, exponential of 1 by n naught into summation of j equal to 1 to n xj minus sij square. And what is the first term? So n number of this term is multiplying. So power will be multiplied with the n. So what should be the terms? That pi n naught to the power of minus n by 2. Since there was a, we can write this expression equal to pi n naught to the power half minus half. Yes or no? So now in this expression is doubt, any doubt up to this? Without name. Okay. So basically these terms, whatever the condition property we find out over here, this term basically indicate that's equal to summation of, in the we have one expression of xt, if you recall the last class when we discussed, xt equal to summation of xj phi j t, okay, plus w per prime t. So last class there was a expression the how we are representing the received signal. Okay. So this is your received signal, this is noise, and this is your corresponding value for your different elements. And this is a basic function. Okay. So basically this term is normally it will indicate the these terms. Okay. Okay. So now so basically, okay, these things. Okay, in that case, then what should be the noise produced over there? Noise. So basically, in this expression, there is a noise term is remaining. If we look at that. Okay, so these noise term, remaining noise term is to be accounted for. Okay, since the noise process Wt present in the Gaussian distribution means that noise profile have the Gaussian distribution nature with the zero mean, and it follows the process of your non-zero means zero mean Gaussian process. Okay, so basically we'll get the statistical in-depth. Okay. So this term, these are the variables we are taking. So xj is your receive signal and this is the noise. So if we take the estimation of these two, it will give us the zero due to the your zero means of that. Okay. So this is the statement we can conclude from there. Okay, that insofar as signal detection in AWGN is concerned, only the projection of the noise onto the basic function of the signal set, that is signal set equal to S I T I equal to 1 to M, affect the sufficient statistics of the detection problem and the remainder of the noise in irrelevant. Okay. Okay, so basically that we are representing the n vector, the receive vector in terms of the vector quantity is a vector quantity of your received signal. This is your generated signal or corresponding value, and this is your noise. So we are representing the AWGN channel in the vector form. Okay. So now there is a something we need to discuss, the likelihood function. So in the likelihood function, basically we'll get from the conditional probability density function. And the condition probability density function provide the characterization of your AWGN channel. And we know what is the characterization of a AWGN channel? Zero mean and variance equal to n naught by 2. Okay. So only we can write that the derivation of this condition probability density function is depends on the observation vector x. So observation vector or receive signal, as I told, the xi is the observation vector over there. Okay. Yeah. So this is your observation vector. So basically the derivation of your condition probability density function depend on the observation the transmitted symbols mi. So when we are transmitting a signal mi, what is the dependence means the condition probability density function will provide the observation derivation of the observation vectors. So basically in the likelihood function that can be defined LMI. LMI is the likelihood function, and it is denoted by the LMI. MI is your generate elements, okay, message symbols or elements you can say, and it is equivalent to the conditional probability of that vector observation vector. So basically this thing in more details how this value is coming. So if same thing is that thing I will discuss later if time permits. Okay. So now the LMI and these two from this equation, they are mathematically same form, but individually meaning is little bit of difference from that. Okay. So this thing is there. Now if we take the logarithm of this, so what we'll get? We'll get the log likelihood function, and it's represented by the capital M. So in that case, what we are doing? We are taking log of this value. Okay. And we are taking the natural logarithm. So ln L of mi. So that is the log likelihood function. Okay, I will discuss if as I told. Okay, so now from the we have seen this is your conditional probability density function, and we calculate what is the value of this previously. Okay, okay, यहाँ पे. Okay, we calculate this value. The what is the condition probability density function? So now LM, so now if we want to calculate the LMI from there, we can calculate what should be the value. Okay. At the same time, we can also calculate the logarithm log likelihood function LMI. So what is the value of log likelihood function? Just tell me from there. Okay. So when you are taking the log, take two things. This part, say it is A, and this part equal to B. Okay. So log of A and B, that means we can write log A plus log B. So this equal to your, you can write ln A plus ln, sorry, this is ln B. Okay, we are considering this is A, this is B. So now the logarithm of A, this term, okay, is constant, is a constant term, and we are ignoring, if we ignore that terms, because this is a constant term, so it will not affect our likelihood. Suppose we have some DC value with some, so it will not help to take the decision of some particular value. Suppose we want to set a threshold value 0.3 or 0.5 volt. Say 0.5 volt is the threshold value, and if above this value, then it will be considered as a 0 or 1. If it is less than 0.5, then it will be considered as a 0. Okay, so that means we need to put two things, 1 and 0, and the threshold value equal to 0.5. Okay, now if we consider there is some DC value, so this is the fluctuate value, say this value is the variable, it is not fixed, and if we add some DC value, say, or constant value 2, now we have to take a decision if it is your 1 or it is your 0. So that means we can put the threshold value equal to 2.5. Then if it is more than 2.5, it will be considered as a 1. If it is less than 2.5, it will be considered 0. So that means we can say from there that DC term will not affect our decision. Okay, so what we are doing, since it is a DC term, we are ignoring that portion. So we are interested to the terms which is changing. Okay, so that means logarithm terms, if we take this log likelihood function for the AWGN channel, so it will be your LMI, that's equal to minus 1 by n naught summation of j equal to 1 to n xj minus sij square, which is getting from there. Okay, so is there any doubt? So you have to when you will solve some numerical, you may need to remember this formula, likelihood, or these two formula, this one and this one. Okay, is there any doubt?